you're comparing, or you can't do this or you can't do that. You're not strong enough. You shouldn't be doing this. I really want to hit my vision board goals this year. So starting today, we're all going to sit down and do a monthly recap and see what kind of progress we made. So that way we can like check in with each other to make sure that we're putting action behind our goals so we can actually reach them, right? But also just to like celebrate the whole process. So let me know in the comments right now what goal you were able to hit this month. Let's start by talking about, your word of the year, or, what your biggest goal is. For me, that's to be intentional at the end of like 2023, going into the new year. I really decided that I wanted to take content creation more seriously. Not that I wasn't doing it before, but I just kind of wanted to like take it up a level. So still have fun with it, but just really know like what I'm doing, why, what the purpose of each and every video is, how they're going to connect, how things make sense together, and just make sure that I'm also applying that to my day to day, because I was kind of just like winging it here and there and trying to make things work, as opposed to just like really like applying myself to have like a serious like vision and really going for it. So because of that, I did start doing like the 12-week year planning, which you guys know if you've watched like my last 2 or 3 videos, because I have been talking about it here, especially like this month. And since I started doing that, like I've really been paying a lot more attention to what I can be doing every single day to like actually reach my goals. Because in the past, whenever I would like set a goal, I would sit here and say, oh, like I want to do XYZ, I want to lose 20 pounds, whatever. But I wouldn't like sit here and plan and think about what steps would actually get me there. It was just like this arbitrary thing. It'd be like, yeah, it's cool if I would get it, or I want to get it, but there was no thought put into like what action I was taking. So at the end of the day, like how was I ever going to get there? So it's only been a month so far since I started doing this, but I can already tell a really big difference, because I feel so much more driven and I feel like renewed, and also just like extremely happy, because I feel like I finally found my thing. Because I used to like look at like my boyfriend and like my friends who have like their thing, and they've known for a long time what their thing is, and I was always super happy for them, but there was a part of me that was always like a little bit envious because I didn't know what my thing was. And so I saw like how happy and how like fulfilled that they seemed with like what they were doing and how they were spending their time, and I was just always kind of like wondering like, what is my thing? Like what do I care about to that extent? What's gonna make me feel like happy and like just renewed all the time? And I just really felt like I was missing out on something. So now that I have my own thing and I have like this sense of purpose and I feel driven, I really don't pay attention to what anyone else's thing is anymore, because I'm just so happy and fulfilled in mine. Like I said a minute ago, it's only been a month into 2024, and it's only been a month into me changing how I'm doing things, but I can already tell such a big difference in like what I was doing before and what I'm doing now when it comes to like my content and how I'm like approaching every single day, and how intentional I'm being with every single thing that I'm doing. I started doing like Monday resets and like 12-week year tracking like on my TikTok, just as a way to kind of like center myself, introduce something new, and just keep track of like what I'm doing every single week, and just have like these mini check-ins with you guys and also with myself on what this journey is really like and how I'm feeling, how things are looking, what I'm learning. I also started to share more of like my unique ideas and my opinions and stuff on TikTok, just as a way to like open up some more and just be more honest about like me, what I am behind the scenes of like, this is my YouTube video and this is what we're talking about today, and here are my tips and blah blah blah. Just like a much more casual way to connect with you guys. And in the past month, I've actually been posting to TikTok every single day, which is actually super challenging, but so far I can already tell like such a big difference, because probably the biggest thing I've gained from it, outside of like followers or anything like that, is just how much easier it's gotten to like talk to the camera, because this is like an inanimate thing in front of you. It's a little weird, it's a little awkward, it does take practice to get better. And so sitting here and making like TikTok videos every single day, even though they're much shorter, gives you like a lot more reps. You get tons and tons of practice in to figure out kind of like how to say things like from your heart without having to worry too much, which is obviously something that's going to translate as well to YouTube. So as a creator, I feel like I really gained a lot this past month. As a person, it's been, there's some pluses and there's some minuses. For a plus, I've really gained like so much confidence in, my perspective and to just speak up. I used to really be that person that like, I would only give my opinions on things or like share my thoughts if someone asked me to. And if they didn't ask me there, I wouldn't say it. Like, it wouldn't matter if I felt like, my perspective was a different perspective or it could be like valuable or helpful. If I wasn't asked, I would never say it. And so the reason that like like posting to TikTok every day and like giving more of like my opinions and my unique ideas has been so powerful for me, is because it's me kind of shedding that, because no one's on TikTok like asking me for these things. Like I don't have a large following at all. And even the following that I do have, like, you know, the comments aren't about like, oh, tell us about your opinions on XYZ. Like, no, like I'm just sitting here and I'm giving myself permission to share those things. So I think it's been a really big thing for me to experience as a person, to just give myself that permission to say what I want to say and share what I want to share without waiting for somebody else's permission. But I've also noticed this past month that on this journey to grow and to share myself and my thoughts and my experiences with you guys, that I want this content creation thing to like work for me so badly that, you know, I'll get in my head a lot because I genuinely love it and I want to do better. And so I end up comparing myself to other people, which I've never really been that person to like compare myself a lot. And it's not even like, oh, she's prettier than me, or oh, she has more followers than me, or oh, his videos are much cooler than mine. It's more like the thought process and the ideas. So like there's people coming up with like different hooks and, you know, different styles, different ways of creating videos, different ways of telling their stories. And I'm just like, dang, Raleigh, like why aren't you smart enough to do that? Why aren't you smart enough to think of that first? Or if it's not that, it's me being like, oh, I should take X, Y, and Z elements or things that they did in their videos and put them in my videos to make them even better. And so, you know, that level of comparison has been really negative for me, which I just figured out in the last 2 weeks because I went on this whole like social media fast, which I talked about on my TikTok. If you guys saw it, then you know what I'm talking about already. But me like watching all those videos and like having all those thoughts was really just me like flooding my own creative voice and my own creative process and like really hitting the brakes on it, because I was sitting here and just like putting all these ideas from other people into my head and like using those ideas to like turn on myself and like turn on my own creative voice and like take away its own credibility, and just end up like really shutting myself down creatively and like not believing in myself. And so I realized that I just like, I can't be doing that to myself, and I can't be like watching these other creators to like get tips from them, or, you know, what did they do that maybe I could do in my videos. Like I have to only watch them purely for enjoyment, and that's it, because I'm not really in a place right now where I can sit there and like not compare myself, which I don't think is an easy thing for anybody to say, that like you're comparing or you can't do this or you can't do that, because it's really easy for other people to look at it as an opportunity to like take a shot at you and like tear you down or tell you you're not strong enough, you shouldn't be doing this, when that's not even the case at all, right? Like we're human, stuff like this happens, but we just have to figure out a way to like listen to ourselves and like boost our own confidence and our own creative voice and find a way to keep going. And if that means like shutting other avenues, closing doors and stepping away, then that's what needs to happen. And so that's where I'm at right now. And ever since I started my fast, I have found so much clarity and I feel so much better and I feel so much more in tune with myself and I feel so much more confident in like my own creativity. So, you know, that's where I'm at right now. There's definitely some pluses and some minuses, but overall, I feel like I'm coming out on top as a creator and as a person. Now that we're at the end of the month and I'm just sitting here kind of like sharing with you guys how things went, I do feel like looking back on it that, you know, I have been intentional this month. Whether or not I was sitting here waking up every day saying, Raleigh, be intentional, like it was there in the background. It was driving me to like do the things I had set out for myself. And so I'm really happy about that because, you know, I did post a TikTok every single day, which is really hard and challenging because you have to like constantly be like rolling things over and coming up with ideas, but it can also like make you a slave to it. So, you know, the fast has really helped with that. But overall, like I've kept up with that goal for myself. And I definitely applied the whole like intentionality thing to my YouTube channel itself, because I don't know if y'all watched my first video for January. Like it was this whole like being intentional, refocus, start to the year, something or other. It was a vlog and I didn't end up vlogging everything that I had set out to vlog. And so I went ahead and uploaded that video to get it out, but it was trash. Like it was so bad. There was supposed to be more to it, to my intentionality, but then I didn't do it. And so even though that first video wasn't good and it wasn't me being intentional, I recognized it right away and I turned it around. And so I got back on track for the rest of the month. And so I don't see that as a loss because it was a very quick and early check-in for myself. And I stayed the course once I realized what I needed to do. And if you guys have been watching my shorts here, you guys will know that I had a whole series that I was uploading here about like 30 days to being a creator that I actually dropped. I didn't make an announcement about it, but I dropped it because I was uploading it over on TikTok and it was doing well. But here on YouTube, I was uploading it and I was like losing subscribers every single time that I uploaded it. So it's just like, cut it out. There's no reason to keep it. It's doing more harm than good. And so I can't move forward doing that. People don't want this. They don't like this here. So me being intentional is me cutting it out, even though it looks unfinished, it looks abandoned or whatever. I had to make a decision and I did it, and I'm okay with that. So with February coming up, I would suggest that we all look at this month and see like, what did we not do? What did we not focus on? What did we not even like maybe try that we can like prioritize and like refocus and recenter for the upcoming month? For me, there is an obvious one, which is actually working out. I'll insert in here my 12-week plan for the last month of January, and you can see I did not work out a single day. So clearly this is what I need to do better and focus and prioritize in February. Hopefully y'all did a little bit better than me and didn't just like straight up ignore something that you said you wanted to do. But even if you did, that's why we do these check-ins, so we can go into the next month with like clarity and purpose and focus on the goals that we want to hit. So leave me a comment below on like what you're refocusing on for February that you didn't really do so well on this month. And with that, I will see you guys on my daily YouTube shorts here, or we'll see each other next week in a long video.